A young hunter once followed an old silverback deep into the jungle. After hours of walking, the young hunter got frustrated. "How do you always know where the animals are?" he asked. The silverback pointed to the ground. The young hunter looked down and laughed. "Footprints? That's it?" The silverback shook his head. "No, everyone sees the footprints." The young hunter was confused. The silverback continued. "The footprints tell you where the animal was. The broken branches tell you where it turned. The bent grass tells you how fast it was moving. The missing birds tells you what scared it. And the fresh mud tells you how long ago it passed." The young hunter stood silent. The silverback smiled. "Most people chase footprints. That's why they get lost." He pointed deeper into the jungle. The hunters who eat well don't follow where the animal was. They figure out where it's going. And betting is the same way. Everyone sees yesterday's scores. Everyone sees the winning streak. Everyone sees the highlights. Everyone becomes enamored with what happened 15 hours ago. Those are the footprints. Our job, my mission here, isn't to figure out where the teams have been. It's to figure out where the teams are going. So let's head into the jungle and break down every single game on the slate for Thursday, June 25th. Buckle up, Jack. You're in the jungle. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the show. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the jungle. I handicap and produce every single Major League Baseball game every single day. Treat the videos like a menu. Take what you want and leave what you don't. I'm not going to get every single game right. Nobody does. The best in the world hits 60%. What I do is provide professional handicapping edges and angles to help you formulate your own opinions, make your own bets, or tail mine. I don't bet every single game. I bet roughly 3 to 5 plays per day, depending on the slate. If you want to roll with me and bet what I'm betting, you can do that by becoming a Jungle member at silverbackjungle.com. There's a link in the comments section to get you there faster. If you want just my favorite single bet of the day for Thursday, you can have that as well for just $5. It's in the game between the Rangers and the Blue Jays. There's a link for it in the comments section as well. And this one is a Silverback guarantee. Purchase it. If it doesn't hit, Fridays is on me. Thursday's Daily Sizzler is brought to you by mybookie.ag. Every single bet that you place every single day in every single sport, you should always shop for the best price. If you don't, you're literally leaving money on the table. Mybookie.ag is a sponsor of the show. It's not an app. It's one of the biggest and best online sports books that there is. It's a website, so it's legal in all 50 states. And they have a deal for Jungle viewers. Open up a new account today at mybookie.ag. Make sure to use promo code SILVERBACK in all capital letters. And if your first bet doesn't hit, they refund it up to $500. The Sizzler is in the game between the Seattle Mariners and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's break it down. Bryce Miller taking on Bubba Chandler. "Hey, Bubba, go down to the corner store and get some pickled beets on account of Reverend Tilsman's coming for supper." Bryce Miller is the better option. He's now started 6 games this season, and he's been Seattle's best pitcher. A 1.58 ERA and a microscopic 0.70 whip. Yes, a small sample size, but still, 6 starts. Good enough to know that he's the real deal this season. Chandler has been much better for Pittsburgh than he started the season. He seems to have gotten his walks under control, and he's allowed exactly 2 runs in 3 consecutive starts. His season-long adventures have led him to an ERA of 4.62 and a 1.38 whip. Bullpen-wise, I have Seattle ranked 7th, Pittsburgh 19th. Snapshot, I have Seattle 1st. Their bullpen has been unbelievable. The last 7 days, I have Pittsburgh 18th. So Seattle holds both the starting pitching and the bullpen edge. Offensively, I have Seattle scored a C, Pittsburgh a B. In the last 14 days, the Mariners operating 12% below average, Pittsburgh 4% above. And in the last 3 games, Seattle has a 564. OPS, Pittsburgh 719. The Pirates hold the offensive edge, but I think this will be a low-scoring game, and I want the much better starting pitcher and the much better bullpen. I think the line opened light at -116, money line for Seattle. That's Thursday's Daily Sizzler. Let's go to Tampa Bay. We have Kansas City taking on the Rays. Seth Lugo versus Ian Seymour. Lugo is in average form right now. But here's the deal. He leads Major League Baseball in quality starts. He's not my favorite option in the Royals rotation, but he has a decent 3.6 ERA. but allowing too many base runners, 1.35 whip. I do like him better than Ian Seymour, though. Seymour is another one of those Tampa Bay relievers converted to starter. He has an ERA brushing up against 5 and gives up a lot of sharp contact, not in his best form. Bullpen-wise, I have Kansas City 29th and Tampa Bay 12th. Snapshot-wise, Kansas City 28th, Tampa Bay 7th. The Rays hold the bullpen edge. Offensively, I have both teams graded as a C-plus season-wide. In the last 14 days, the Royals operating 11% above average, Tampa Bay 2% below. And in their last 3 games, the Royals have an 845 OPS. For reference, league average is 710. Tampa Bay's at 722. Kansas City holds the offensive edge. The Royals' money line opened at plus 129 on Kelce. Seth Lugo, like I said, has the most quality starts of any starting pitcher in baseball. So I think he can minimize the amount of work and exposure that we'll get with the Tampa Bay bullpen. Along with the hot bats right now, better offense. I like the Royals on the money line for plus money. The A's at San Francisco, Jeffrey Springs versus Landon Roop. Springs is a terrible option. In his last 4 starts, spanning just 16 and a third innings, listen to this nonsense. He's allowed 9 home runs and 21 earned runs. Landon Roop is the better option. He's free to make plans for All-Star Week. He won't be getting the call, but still much better than Springs this season. And coming off a quality start against Miami. Bullpen-wise, you have the A's 21st, the Giants 23rd. In snapshot form, meaning last 7 days, Athletics 22nd, Giants 21st. Bullpens are a stalemate. Offensively, I have the A's graded as a B, the Giants a B-. Over the last 14 days, they're both strong. The A's 9% above average, Giants 5% above. In the last 3 games, A's just a 483 OPS, Giants 699. Offensive matchup is a stalemate. I think that Jeffrey Springs is in trouble here. He's the weakest link and biggest standout of anything in this game. I like San Francisco on the money line. It opened at minus 130. Houston at Detroit, Tetsuya Imaya versus Troy Melton. Imaya has had some decent starts recently, but when he blows up, it's bad. He did not make it out of the first inning against Kansas City, June 12th. 6 earned runs to Seattle, also on May 12th. Again, he's been much better as of recent as the season progresses, but it's hard to overlook his 6.15 ERA. Melton holds the edge, and I think he's very undervalued. 3 of his last 4 starts have been quality starts. 6 innings pitched and 1 earned run against the White Sox. 8 innings pitched, 2 earned runs against Tampa Bay. And again against the White Sox, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Bullpen-wise, I have Houston 13th, Detroit 22nd. But in snapshot form, Houston 11th, the Tigers 9th. Just a 1.15 ERA for Detroit's pen over the last 7 days. I give the slate bullpen edge to Houston. Offensively, I have the Astros a B-. I have Detroit a C. Over the last 14 days, the Astros operating 2% above average, the Tigers 1% above. In the last 3 games, Houston is 767 on base plus slugging. Detroit 781. Houston holds the edge. The wind will be blowing out 13 miles an hour to left center field at Comerica Park. Anything over 10 miles an hour affects the travel of the ball. So we want to take a look at each team's isolated power numbers against or with the right-handed batters. And we see Detroit is 3rd in isolated power from the right side of the plate over the last 30 days and 6th season-wide. So we factor that into the handicap, a slight edge for Detroit there. And I like the Tigers, everything in the blender at home on the money line. It opened at minus 126. Philadelphia at Washington, Christopher Sanchez versus Cade Cavalli. Sanchez holds the edge. Philadelphia's long, lanky lefty has the 3rd best ERA amongst qualified starters at 1.80 and has the 2nd most strikeouts behind The Miz. Cavalli's been okay. He's not going to shut a lineup down, but he's not going to get blown up either. Certainly not the pitcher that Sanchez is, though. Bullpen-wise, I have the Phillies ranked 5th. I have the Nationals 26th in their current form. Phillies 17th, Washington 29th. Philly holds the edge. Offensively, I have Philadelphia graded a C. I have Washington a B. Over the last 14 days, the Phillies operating 5% above average. Same for the Nationals. In the last 3 games, Philly at 853 OPS, Washington 798. The offensive matchup is a stalemate. These are 2 strong offenses in good form right now. And I think the money line opens soft, minus 130 on Kelce. Philadelphia, the much better starting pitcher, much better bullpen. Give me the Phillies on the money line. Cubs at the Mets, no official starter for Chicago. It's fastball Freddie Peralta for New York. Now, you hear me say often, I'm not big on Peralta. 17 earned runs across his last 13 and 2/3 innings. 4.83 ERA and a 1.39 whip, neither even in the top 55 in baseball. He is a strikeout-dependent pitcher whose strikeout numbers are down, and it's difficult when you have to learn to get hitters out in a different way, and he hasn't done that. Bullpen-wise, I have the Cubs 24th and the Mets 14th. In snapshot form, Cubs 30th with a 10.13 ERA over the last 7 days. No bueno. Snapshot, I have the Mets 19th. New York holds the edge. Offenses, Cubs a B-, Mets a D+. In the last 14 days, the Cubs are red hot, operating 14% above average. The Mets 2% above. In the last 3 games, Chicago a league high 961 OPS. New York 635. The Cubs hold the edge. Winds will be blowing out 12 miles an hour to left center field. So we look at each team's isolated power numbers from the right-handed batters, and we see both teams season-wide are bottom 5 with righties. But in the last 30 days, the Mets right-handed sluggers, much better isolated power than Chicago. So we factor that into the handicap as a slight advantage for the Mets. The Cubs' offense is red hot. They will get to Peralta. The Cubs' pitching staff is in trouble. We don't know who they're starting, but we know that they're stretched thin, and their bullpen is weak right now. We're going over the total in Cubs-Mets. Yankees at Boston. Cam Schlittler on the roof versus Conley. Early bird gets the worm. Schlittler is the American League front runner for Cy Young right now. Is set 1 point. His 1.71 ERA, second best in baseball amongst qualified starters. His 0.89 whip, fourth best, and he's 6th in strikeouts. Early's a decent option for Boston. He wins as much as he loses. His season-long numbers don't compare, and his talent doesn't compare to Dr. Schlittler, however. Bullpen-wise, I have the Yankees 8th, the Red Sox 11th. Snapshot form, Yankees 15th, Red Sox 13th, slight edge to New York. Offensively, I have the Yankees a B+, the Red Sox a C-. Over the last 14 days, the Pinstripes operating 3% above average, Boston 1% below. And over the last 3 games, New York has a 637 on base plus slugging. Red Sox 683, the Yankees hold the edge. The Yankees' money line opened at -137 on Kelce. I'm surprised with that pitching matchup. Let's take New York on the alternate line of -1. In the last game we're looking at, it's Arizona at St. Louis. Zach Gallen versus Michael McGreevy. Gallen is terrible. I love fading him. Coming off of a 9 earned run loss to the Twins. He never disappoints the amount of runs he gives up to opposing hitters. He's exactly 63rd in ERA and 63rd in whip with numbers of 6.10 and 1.63. McGreevy is the better option here, coming off of a bad start against Kansas City, but good numbers season-wide, a 3.35 ERA and a 1.15 whip, and 3 of his last 4 starts have been quality starts. Bullpen-wise, I have Arizona 15th. I have St. Louis 17th. In snapshot form, Diamondbacks 12th, Cardinals 24th. Arizona holds the bullpen edge. Offensively, I have Arizona graded a C-, St. Louis a B-. Over the last 14 days, Diamondbacks operating 5% below average. Cardinals 6% above. And in the last 3 games, a major difference, Jack. Arizona 603 OPS, St. Louis 857, second highest in baseball over that span. St. Louis holds the edge, put it all in a blender. We're fading Zach Gallen and taking the much better offense right now. Cardinals on the money line. It opened at -116. Have a great day, Jungle Nation. Thank you for all of your support. Make sure you're subbed up to the channel. I drop content every single day. Hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind, and I'll see you tomorrow with a little more money in your pocket.